Thanks, Martin. Revised figures released today by the National Association of Realtors show the housing crisis that started in 2007 was even worse than we realized. How's that possible? Home prices or home purchases in 2010 were revised downward by almost 15%. Purchases in 2008 and 2009 were revised downward 16%. That translates into a 3.5 million fewer homes sold since 2007 than originally stated. Joining me now, real estate and foreclosure attorney Shari Olefson, author of Foreclosure Nation. Shari, thank you for your time.
Sure, thanks for having me.
So why are we just getting these amended, or can I call them amended numbers? Is that the right way to describe them?
Recasted numbers.
And why are we getting them just now?
Well, this actually came out last February. A competing statistic provider noted some differences in their numbers and started to question the National Association of Realtors methodology in computing the existing home sales. Because remember, they're based on an estimate based on a sampling of data that's reported by actual realtors.
So obviously, though, and I saw this story first reported on Nightly News last night. It's everywhere today. The headline is, though, that it was worse than we first thought. Help me understand, do you not see the headline that way?
Well, the numbers certainly show that, and it's certainly disappointing. But from a real-life perspective, you know, most of the experts look at a variety of indicators. And even once we have the indicators, I mean, it's kind of funny because we actually spend relatively little amount of time on them. We spend a lot more time digging behind the numbers because there's so much that we all know anyway the numbers don't tell us. There are all kinds of variables they don't reflect. There's all kinds of idiosyncrasies that we need to look behind them to see what they really mean anyway. From a practical standpoint, I mean, home buyers who are looking for a home, if you need a home and you have the money, you're not going to not buy a home because these numbers retroactively have been revised down. You'll go and look at a home and you're really more focused on the prices in a particular neighborhood. Same thing with developers. I mean, most developers need to have a local market study done, which is very extensive, and it's not based on this information anyway.
All right, well, this report just quickly says that 3.5 million fewer homes were sold in 2007 than originally stated. So does that have no impact here years later on the housing market?
Well, it certainly does. I mean, it's at least temporarily it will create a blip because it's giving us more reason to doubt. It also will give us more reason to doubt numbers moving forward. How do we know that these numbers are accurate? We already know that the number of defaults and foreclosures that are reflected are probably underestimated. Certainly the amount of shadow inventory that's reflected is underestimated, as is negative equity, because, you know, when you're dealing with this, you have all kinds of methodology issues. And let's face it, I mean, banks and homeowners who don't plan on paying their mortgages also are not very transparent and cooperative. But we can look at the big picture back to the bubble, and we know that the correction just is not in the same scope as the excess was. I mean, we had 27 million loans, risky loans made. Of that, only about 6% have really been addressed. So we haven't worked our way through this, no matter what the indicators say.
All right, Shari, thank you very much. It's great having you on. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great holiday.
You too now. Well, in case of an emergency,